It's something we all have, but do we really understand it? Today, we are diving deep into fat, and we're going to uncover its secret life as one of your body's most powerful, and when things go wrong, one of its most dangerous organs.
Okay, so let me ask you something. When you think of the most important, most critical organs in your body, what pops into your head? Your heart, right? Pumping away? Or maybe your brain, the command center for literally everything? Well, what if I told you the biggest threat to your health might be hiding in plain sight?
That's right, you're fat. And no, I don't just mean the stuff you see in the mirror. We tend to think of it as just storage, inactive. But the reality is so much more complicated and honestly so much more fascinating. Your fat is an active, communicating organ that runs some of your body's most important systems.
So, first things first, we've got to completely rethink what fat actually is. Let's stop thinking of it as just a side effect of eating too much. It's a full-blown organ, and it has a really important job to do.
Here's the mind-blowing part. Your fat is an endocrine organ. Now, what does that mean? It means it produces and sends out hormones. These hormones are like little chemical text messages that tell your brain, your liver, your muscles, and even your immune system what to do. When your fat organ is healthy, your whole body is humming along perfectly. But when it's not, well, that's where the trouble really starts.
So you might be wondering, if this fat organ is so important, how did it become public enemy number one? Well, the answer is basically an evolutionary mismatch. For pretty much all of human history, our bodies evolved to be amazing at one thing: surviving famine. We got incredibly good at storing every last calorie as fat. But now, we live in a world where food isn't just abundant, it's everywhere. It's cheap, it's convenient, and it's literally engineered to be addictive. Our ancient bodies just aren't built to handle this.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. To understand how this organ works, you have to know that not all fat is the same. Where your fat is located in your body matters a lot. So let's break down the two main types.
So, on one side, you have subcutaneous fat. This is the softer stuff right under your skin. It keeps you warm, it stores energy. It's generally the less risky of the two. But on the other side, you have visceral fat. This stuff is hidden. It's packed deep inside your abdomen, wrapped around your vital organs, like your liver, your stomach, your intestines. And this is the real troublemaker.
So what's the deal with visceral fat? Why is it the bad guy in this story? Well, these fat cells are super sensitive to stress hormones. So when you're stressed out, this fat just dumps a flood of fatty acids right into your bloodstream, which then goes straight to your liver. It's metabolically active all the time, constantly sending out these disruptive chemical signals that can throw your whole system out of whack.
So what exactly happens when we start packing on too much of this dangerous visceral fat? Well, this is where a healthy, functioning organ starts to turn on you, setting off a really destructive chain reaction.
It all starts with the fat cells themselves. First, they get totally overstuffed. They swell up to their absolute breaking point. Pretty soon, they get so big that they actually outgrow their own blood supply, and they start to suffocate. These stressed out, dying cells start screaming out emergency signals, and your immune system hears the call and launches a full-scale invasion, sending in troops to clean up all the dead and dying cells.
And the scale of this invasion, it's just staggering. Get this, in a lean person, immune cells make up about 5% of their fat tissue. But in someone who's obese, that number can skyrocket to 40%. 40! Your fat tissue literally becomes a war zone, a site of constant, low-level inflammation. And that brings us to this idea of friendly fire. It's the perfect way to think about it. This chronic inflammation means your body's defense system is always on, but there's no real enemy to fight. So instead, it just starts attacking you, damaging your healthy tissues, your blood vessels, and putting a massive strain on your entire system.
And this constant low-level war happening inside your body, it throws your entire hormonal system into absolute chaos, and the consequences are devastating.
It all starts with a hormone called leptin. Think of leptin as your body's "I'm full" signal. It's released from your fat cells, travels to your brain, and says, "Hey, we're good on energy, you can stop eating now." But when you have too much fat, your brain gets so overwhelmed with these "I'm full" signals that it just tunes them out. It's like the smoke alarm has been going off for so long you don't even hear it anymore. Your internal off switch is broken. And that brings us to the big one, insulin. Insulin's job is basically to knock on the door of your cells and tell them to let sugar in for energy. You can think of it as your body's dinner bell. But here's the problem.
Your cells, they're under siege from all that inflammation we talked about. So they start ignoring insulin's call. They stop opening the door. That's insulin resistance. So your pancreas does the only thing it can do. It starts making more insulin. It starts screaming dinner time louder and louder. But eventually, it just gets exhausted. It can't keep up.
And when the pancreas finally gives out, that's when type 2 diabetes sets in. And now your blood is full of sugar, but your cells are starving for it. This causes massive damage all over your body, to your kidneys, your eyes, your nerves, your immune system, and it dramatically increases your risk for pretty much every other deadly disease out there.
And the cost? The real cost to your life? It's staggering. On average, a type 2 diabetes diagnosis shaves a full decade off a person's life. 10 years.
Okay, I know that all sounds incredibly bleak, but listen, and this is the most important part of this whole explainer. It is not a one-way street. There is absolutely a path back to health.
And here's the really incredible news. Almost all of this damage, it's reversible. Your body has this amazing ability to heal itself once you remove the source of the problem, which is that excess, stressed-out visceral fat.
Just think about what happens. As you lose that excess weight, the stress on your fat cells disappears. The immune system gets the signal to stand down. That chronic inflammation just fades away. Your hormones like insulin and leptin start to rebalance. Your blood sugar normalizes, and your body finally gets the chance to start healing itself.
So, let's wrap up with this thought. For so long, the conversation about fat has been about how we look. But the real story, the much more important story, is about our health. It's about a vital, active organ that controls almost everything. So the real question I want to leave you with is this. Now that you know your fat is an active living organ, how are you going to take care of it?